All right, everyone. Hey, it's your girl, Feel the Food Gal, Baker at Fancy My Sweets, and today I'm going to try out some vegan chocolate chip cookies. This particular recipe does not have the flax egg in it, so I'm going to try the flax egg one tomorrow, but this one today is essentially just all-purpose flour, baking soda, salt, refined coconut oil. I want to try the Dr. Bronner's coconut oil, but this is what was at my local grocery store. Refined means that the taste of the coconut oil is subtle. You want to make sure that it's solid, so I'll put this in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes or so. Coconut milk. I like this because it's the thicker variety of coconut milk. Unsweetened applesauce. Trying to keep it in focus. Unsweetened applesauce. They do offer allergy-friendly chocolate chips, and these are from Enjoy Life. I've used their dark chocolate, and it was delicious. These are the Kroger allergy-friendly ones. The semi-sweet. And we're also going to have our brown sugar play a role in these cookies, and of course some vanilla extract. Okay, so excuse me, I've already done my flour, baking soda, and salt, and I whisked that to combine it, so that'll be set to the side until we need that. Okay, so now in another bowl I'm going to do our wet ingredients, and our wet ingredients would be the half cup of coconut oil, which is right here. So it's really like solid. You see that? So I like it like this, and I could have taken it out and let it come to room temp, but that's okay. So we're just gonna go around it. Let's see. Because it's really one of those oils that melts pretty fast with, you know, contact or whatever, hand-to-hand contact. So look at that. So you can leave this in a bowl for a little while to kind of loosen up some more, but I'm going to try my luck with it being such solid like this. Okay, so then for the sugar, I'm going to pour in our sugar. So we're going to need to cut this bag down a little bit more so I can access it better. These are my kitchen shears. We'll lean that up. I cut it and that came out. So let's just work on breaking this coconut oil up some more, because you're going to end up whisking it. So just let it kind of come to room temperature in there. So when you do open up the coconut oil, you'll see that it is actually pretty solid for the most part, and it just depends on the environment that you're in. My house holds heat really well, so most of the time I don't even have to turn the heat on unless it's just freezing outside. Like, it has to be like extremely cold. Okay, so I'm gonna pause this for just a second and be right back with you. All right, and so I did mix in brown sugar. Got a little bit of coconut oil we're gonna add into that. I'm sorry, coconut milk. I apologize. That is brown sugar, coconut milk, coconut oil, and then our unsweetened applesauce. I just use the unsweetened kind because that's what I have on hand. Not really trying to just go out and buy a whole bunch of different stuff unless I have to. I have another recipe that I want to try, but this one, it appeared to get like the most likes and stuff like that. So, right, so we have all those components in there. Okay, so we're going to add our vanilla as well, and the vanilla, 2 teaspoons. And that's the end of that $1 million bottle of vanilla, excuse me. Of vanilla, $1 million. So You're gonna whisk this all together. Like I said, our coconut oil is beginning to loosen up a little bit. And if all else fails, I would just use my mixer to get everything really well incorporated. But you can smell the coconut milk. Oh, and I'll be right back because I know that's annoying. Sorry. Okay. So that pretty much reminds me of how my stuff looks when it's done the other way with eggs and whatnot. So I'm hoping that this is okay. So don't refrigerate your coconut oil for too long. Just make sure that it's solid. So pop it in the refrigerator for like 5 minutes or so. Not, I think I set it in there for like 15 minutes. So we're gonna keep going anyway, because that's how you figure out if a recipe is good for you, even with mistakes and mishaps, right? So now what we're going to do is add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients, which is really interesting because I normally add it the other way around. So I'm gonna do a little bit at a time just to kind of gauge where we're at. You can use a wooden spoon or the heavy duty spatula, silicone spatula like I'm using. I mean, I think it'll all come together. The speckling of the liquid has me a little bit worried, but I mean, how do you learn if you don't go ahead and just dive in and see what happens? So that's what I'm doing. I'm diving in. If the batter seems too wet, you want to add a tablespoon more flour till you get to a perfect or a better consistency. Let me say that. I haven't added all of my flour, my dry mixture yet. So that's everything. That's all of the flour. And if it seems like it's too dry, you would add like a tablespoon of coconut milk. If your mixture seems like it is too dry, once you are completely finished incorporating both elements, if it is too dry, start by adding a tablespoon of coconut milk until you get the consistency you're looking for. If it seems like it's a little bit too, runny, you would add a tablespoon more flour until you got the consistency you're looking for, okay? So the batter should be nice and thick. And I think I might go ahead and add another tablespoon of flour if I don't see the consistency, because it's pretty good so far. But I think I want to add maybe, because I can't even taste this right now because I do intermittent fasting, so my fasting isn't over until the afternoon. That's when I'll probably be able to taste it. But I like to cook early, so we'll just go with it. But this is pretty much how my regular non-vegan chocolate chip batter is. We'll see. Pretty good. Pretty good. Don't forget you got a little flour off to the side. Now you want to add your chocolate chips if you are so inclined. If this is okay with you, or if you wanted a thicker batter, I'm going to add just maybe a half a tablespoon more of flour, if that. That's Martin in the background. I do not own the rights to Martin. Facebook, I do not own the rights to the programming you hear in the background. Please do not block my video because you hear Martin all the way 2 rooms over. Please. For Pete's sake. And I think that's enough flour. So, anywho, we got all of that blended in. And I think I went with a full tablespoon. I didn't fill it up. I went 3/4 way of the way the first time. And then I just went ahead and filled it up. So, we're going to do our semi-sweet chocolate chips here. They look ashy to me. That's kind of weird now. But it's supposed to be 2 cups. So that's 1 cup. And just fold those in as much as you can. They look, this batter looks beautiful once it came together. Like I said, I was worried about the speckling because the coconut oil was very cold. Very, very cold. So I'm gonna also incorporate these minis. I want to try both of them, but I'm a little bit worried because they're different brands. Yellow. We just gonna go ahead and roll with it. I mean, it is what it is, my darlings. So I'm only gonna do like a 1/4 cup of the minis in there. Make it like the Panera cookies. Their chocolate chip cookies are good to me too. So anyway, just continue to fold it. Don't, overwork the batter. Try not to. I always, any batter that I use, I always let it settle in the refrigerator for like 30 minutes or so. This says you can bake it with no spreading, but I'm gonna go ahead and trust my gut. That little feeling, my little spidey senses tingling a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and trust my gut feeling and go ahead and throw these boys in the refrigerator for a moment, just for a moment or so. I ain't gonna have them in there too long, maybe 15 minutes or so. Because everything is well incorporated. You saw that. Now, how do you get uniform size cookies? It's not a, hard thing to do. We already have a parchment lined cookie sheet ready and willing. So I use cookie scoops. I use ice cream scoops to get the appropriate size. Now if I wanted to do a jumbo cookie, I will use the jumbo ice cream scoop. But this right here is 1 1/2 tablespoon, which should be sufficient. See? Oh, I need my nails done so bad. Woo, they look awful. I'm just freaking out by how bad they look. Oh well. Anyway, so you can drop, I'm going to do 2 on top of there, right? Do y'all think that man burned down that she shed on that commercial? I think that is so funny. It's such a cute little conspiracy. I think it's just funny. So anyway, we're lining our cookie sheet. I can't do 2 different sizes only because I want everything to bake evenly, you understand what I'm saying? And that's all I do when I take my cookies out of the scooper. I just, if you could pick it up like that, that's a pretty good cookie. My stomach actually growling. Oh my goodness, I'm hungry. But I can't eat anything yet. All I'm gonna do is have my little protein shake once I fast. Once it's time to break my fast. I went to the doctor and my blood pressure was elevated, and I never have high blood pressure. I've been through some traumatic things and been to the doctor, and my blood pressure has been a little spiked, but it'll go stable after, a little while. And I forgot to tell her that I was fasting. And so my first meal of the day, it spiked my sugar. And my first meal of the day was a very lean smoothie from Smoothie King. It was a chocolate smoothie with Keiko nibs, and it had all this stuff in there that made it a pretend like taste good smoothie. But it was rough, but it was all right. I do it because I be trying to be out here flexing. I might not be 2020 summer ready, but 2021, I'm just naked all summer. I'm just wearing a fur coat and that's it. That's all. I'm just forewarning y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know ahead of time. It's about to be trouble. Anyway, so those are my cookies. And they look good, right? They look like they are going to be tasty and good. But I've been finagled before with recipes. I'll be making something and I'm like, oh, it smells good, look good, and I make it and I'm like, they got me. They got me. I spent $1 million on ingredients and they got me. Oh, I be wanting to fight people. But it's okay. We're gonna put these in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes. Put them in the freezer for like 10 minutes, and then make sure your oven is set to 375. I don't cook past like 350 for baked goods in my oven because my oven is retarded. It'll be 350 1 minute and then it'll be 400. So I have to really keep an eye on this oven. Anywho, so, and I have an oven thermometer. I've talked to my leasing manager about the oven, and they just do such a shitty job with appliances here that I will be glad when I get into my loft or condo. So I'm gonna put these up and I'll come back in a minute. Peace.